Hi. Hey, it's Bridget. Nice to see you. Welcome to Above Life Channel. The purpose here is to inspire your spirit and to fill you with hope. And apparently today to talk about some curious things that have been happening in the skies, at least over the United States in the last couple of weeks. Now, I was in Disney World the week of February 8th. So that was like my birthday week. And so I know a bunch of stuff was happening. So I think we need to talk about that because it brings up the whole conversation about what else is available to us that we don't talk about. And so it's a perfect LinkedIn connection to energy and intuition. And I love to inspire your spirit and to talk about you utilizing your own intuition. This is a great opportunity to do that. All right. So I thought probably the best person that I could think of to talk to about any kind of like alien stuff, astral stuff, cosmic stuff, other planet life stuff would be Stephen Hawking because he just has that kind of universal vibe. Like he's like the doctor of the universe to me. And we've talked to him before. So he does have a playlist. So if you like this video, or you're curious about him more so, go ahead and check out the playlist here on Above Life channel for Stephen Hawking. Okay, so I'm going to bring him in. We need to talk about the UFO thing, this whole idea of is the stuff that has been going on over the US skies recently, is it the kind of the opening up of, oh my gosh, there's other life on other planets, or there's aliens and different. And aliens just sound so kind of rude, actually, when I say it like that. It sounds kind of not very polite to call them that. Other life beings. How about that? So let's have this conversation. Can you come in? Thank you. It's nice. He is standing and he looks like a young man when I see him, which I love because then his body he's not like imprisoned with his physical body, especially in the afterlife. He's definitely not that. We typically are not, by the way. But he looks like a college professor when I see him like this. So it's good. I just want you to understand 'cause I'm clairvoyant. So I tell you what I see, and now there's a lot of energy that's coming in. Oh my. And it's already kind of messing with my thoughts. I can feel it. So when I do psychic work and I channel, I have to go back and re-listen to things because I can't like receive the information and process it in my brain intellectually in the ego mind at the same time in the same way or the depth that I could if I was just listening to somebody else do it because I'm using this other part of me, my consciousness. So it's kind of like two parts. So I get altered a bit. Okay, I get altered a bit. So I'm already feeling because like my thoughts are getting separated, kind of like to make room for this new thought. And that's exactly what it is. It is new thought, he says. It's new thought. It's not new age, it's new thought. He says the universe is a vast place and there are multiple verses. And he says, it's a bit, and then he's playing music. Like I hear like classical music. Like there's music and like an orchestra, symphonies. He says there's symphonies of life. There are so many beautiful streams of consciousness and information that can be accessed. The human mind is so small that the capacity it has to actually process, hold, and understand, let alone receive information, he says, is limited. It is. And so in a way, there is a sort of envy amongst humanity, even the most intellectual elite, of this fact that there are quite certainly the capacity for a far broader intellect, far beyond, and it is not the AI or the artificial intelligence or the robotics components, the man-made things. It transcends that. It is not man at all. It is much more of a advanced, hybrid, resourced, and very interconnected. He says galaxies or universes, something like that. It's big, whatever. I see galaxy, so I'm gonna say that. Um, this is deep. Like, my stomach actually just hurt when you said that. Just at the end, it's like it got really tight in my stomach. Why is that? Like solar plexus intuition. Says, "Yes, yes." He says, "Well, the gateway to understanding any of this and to be able to accept this new information, which is not new at all," he says, which is not new at all, is to allow your intuition, which is the closest thing that you have to get you any sort of closeness to this understanding, this level of advancement, and to partner or work with the telepathic nature of life in the mind, sort of how like dolphins, or is it dolphins that have sonar? He's showing me like it looks like dolphins, and that kind of goes out and there's like sonar and kind of thing, and like the energy bounces off and comes back, and that's how you know. He said it's very much like it's like a sonar kind of experience, but with and he's saying it's like the closest thing feels like telepathy, but it's third eye is what I am seeing. Does that make sense? Third eye. But it's the intuition, it's the new level of intuition that once you access that or can get into those states, and I'm gonna say of intuition, because that's how it feels, you guys. This is the easiest way to translate this is different levels of intuition in order to be able to connect and communicate if that's what you choose to do. And also to be able to receive the energies, the streams of light or energies that are available to you and accessible to you from these other civilizations, because that's basically what they are, is these other beings and these other life existences. Um, he says it's not an experimental or even curious type of a thing. It is to the point where humanity could truly benefit, he says, from the advancement in I don't even know what that is. That's kinda creepy. I think that's, like, creepy technology. He literally, like, cryogenics? I am not a scientist person, and I don't research any of this stuff, so I am just telling you what's coming in. He says there is the human body has gotten to the point where the mind is transcending the body, and so he says, you see, your body can die, but your mind can stay alive. However, the mind is deteriorating in its capacity. That's why you see the advancement of Alzheimer's, dementia, and things like that. The body starts to decay, and then event first, and then the mind does. He says, but your heart and your soul do not decay. There is not that. There is longevity in the heart and the soul. This is what the afterlife is about that heart and soul that live on, that energetic of who you are, that essence of you. So your essence does not decay. And so it's your essence, which is your intuition and your telepathic nature, et cetera. If you can combine these two things together, that's how you can access new levels of longevity. He says he says you can't totally negate the human body experience because there is, no matter how much technology advances, he says, there is eventually, when you keep going and evolving and evolving and evolving and evolving, eventually you'll let go of the body anyway, because the body, it hinders you long term. But it serves the purpose for which your spirit came into being, was to have a body so that the body could experience with the soul involved in it. And so it is a multi-level experience, a very sensory experience. However, with the new awareness of other life, other, I'm going to say civilizations, because that feels right. Like when he says that, it says, I'm going to grab my sweatshirt. It's cold in here. It's interesting. It does. I tend to get cold when I talk about like astral stuff or like alien stuff or whatever. I do tend to get really cold. It happens. It's interesting how that is. He says it's because the body doesn't understand the energy. It doesn't know how to assimilate it and to integrate it. And he says, but for all of the disease that is showing up in the body, the advanced technologies, the medical, just the pure medical application, the biological application could be it's unfathomable what could be utilized, he says. And so because of the ego-minded connection and the grid of the connection to the common shared belief of fear, of outsiders, of things that are different, of changing too quickly, he says, this will hinder the acceptance, the awareness, and the growth. Um, so can you tell us if it was like, what's the deal? Like, I understand that, like, some kind of window of awareness, some sensitivity was changed. So then these other things in the atmosphere could be picked up, whereas before the technology wasn't allowing everything to be seen, and now it is. So I understand that that's happened. Is that correct? He said, yes, that's yes. Yes, he says, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason why it was changed. Okay, well, is it fear-based? He says, in part, yes, because of the spy capacities, especially, he says, with the increased concerns over Russia. And he says it's not, you might think it's China potentially, but it's more Russia than the China. Uh, yeah, the Chinese people. There's just so much judgment we have as Americans. I'm just going to say that. We're just so judgy of everybody, and we're kind of assholes sometimes. I don't like that. I don't love that. I know I'm going to get America people on my YouTube channel, but come on, you guys. We're so like scared, and oh, we can be proud and inclusive too. Yeah, I don't know. So I know that international relations, and specifically like with the Chinese government and also with the Russian government, and then of course other places as well, of course, um, that makes sense. That would be something national security wise that would happen, right? Open up that and kind of see if there's any kind of stuff going on, right? So yes, that's part of it. He says, yes. Yeah, that's part of it. Yes. So intuitively, I was talking to a friend just yesterday and I said, okay, so I get that there's a bunch of these things that have shown up that have been kind of, taken out. And I'm like, there's at least five, I think. I'm like, at least two of them are tests. So can you talk about that a little bit? Without promoting any kind of conspiracy theories, we're not into that here on Above Life channel. We're not. And you guys, by the way, I should mention, there will be weird people in the comments. People are gonna, because of the title, because of the UFO stuff, there are gonna be people arguing and all angry and upset in the comments. Let them be. Just let them. It's okay. Let them vent. If they need a place that they can feel safe to be angry or mad or scared, just let them. It's okay. If it's super offensive to you, you can unblock them. You guys can totally do that. You can report somebody's comments. You can totally do that. But just just know that they're just processing their stuff. Okay, it's okay. We can have different views and opinions, you guys. I'm totally fine with that. This is a safe place for that stuff. However, the conspiracy theory stuff can get too messy and distracting you from regular life. So let's also keep a balance into what we have to do on a day-to-day basis and all this stuff. Okay. All right. Let's just stay grounded, people. Let's stay grounded. But yeah, talk to us about that UFO stuff. He says, well, you know that there are star seeds. You know that there's life on other planets. He says, you know this. You've known this for quite some time, and there are other civilizations dating far back before the whole Egyptian, are there aliens building the pyramids thing. He says, you know this. And they're not necessarily like the term alien I have a hard time with personally, but he's like, it's just other civilizations. That's all it is other civilization, other life. And it's hard to quantify, or it's hard to articulate that and put it into a human reference when they are so different and so advanced. Like, you guys, we are just dummies when it comes to this. Um, and sometimes we like to be ignorant. I mean, it does kind of give you a false sense of security, right? So, do we need to be afraid, this UFO stuff? So were there actual UFOs? He says, "Yes, of course there are UFOs." He said, "Of course there are. There are always UFOs." He says, "But does that mean everybody needs to panic and freak out and get all," he says, "Panic and get upset? No." He says, "They've always been there." If they wanted to hurt you, they would have been hurting you by now. I kinda wanna be like, "If they wanted to have you for dinner, you'd be already dinner," you know? It's just so it's like there are plenty of things to be afraid of. The alien stuff is not one of them. That's a general blanket statement, obviously. So, just like there are people that you wouldn't wanna hang around with, that you wouldn't wanna be caught in a dark alley with, there are other life forms that you wouldn't wanna be caught alone with either, okay? That's not just like ET people or alien type life forms. That's also, human people, right? And also, even spirits too, because there are spirits that don't have the best of intentions either. So it's all of these things. So if you look at everything, you guys, as energy and energetic, then this isn't a fear thing. This is just an awareness thing. That's all it is. So yes, he says, yes, there are two. And he says, oh, he says, you said there's two. He says, you said there's two. And I said, yeah. And he said, yeah, there's one that looks to me, I haven't seen, you guys, I have not seen the news. I just heard about this. I just heard about it. It showed up on one of my feeds or something, and that's it. I haven't seen pictures. I don't know what they look like. And that's intentional because I want to be able to say that here so that you guys know how intuitively we access information. I don't have to see it physically to know because I'm seeing it in my third eye, right? Okay. So one that kind of looks like a dart kind of thing. It looks like a dart with like little edges on it kind of thing. And he says they are small and unassuming so that there's not fear about them. And it's sort of, this is like kind of the first kind of testing the waters to see how we respond to that. And we responded like, well, we're taking this out. And it's like, okay, well, a- and I want to also reiterate that just because we take something out, it doesn't mean that there's war now. Like, we're not at war with China because we took down their balloon that was spying on us. So, like, they know they were being naughty. Not so nice. And so, of course, they're not gonna do anything about it. They're, "Oh, oops, oops, I guess we got found out. Oops," like that kinda thing. So that's the same kind of vibe with the alien stuff. "Oops, I guess we got found out." And actually, it's not an oops, it's like a, "Oh, well, let's see how they respond. This is unassuming, this is small, this is not a big deal. Let's see how they respond to it. Oh, they shot it down. Oh, I guess they're not ready for us." Oh, okay, good to know. Good to know. We're gonna focus on the places where people are at a higher level of consciousness because that's really what it is for the most part. And like I said, just like there's different kinds of people in the world, there's different kind of ETs and different kind of civilizations and different kind of cultures and things that you wouldn't want to go to different. There's certain countries that you wouldn't jive with, certain parts of certain countries, including the United States, that you wouldn't want to just be dropped into and live in, right? Because it's not connected with your value system. It's not connected with your beliefs or your culture or whatever. It's the same thing with the alien stuff. Okay. Same thing. So you're not going to love on all of them, right? It's just like spirits too. You're not going to love on all spirits, right? So it's like that. Use your discernment. Okay. So, yeah, so there were at least two, correct? Yes. He's actually saying that there's like I see four and I see two for sure. And then the third one, something's up. I'm sorry. Something very specifically is medical related. And I don't know if it's because of the post COVID era. And now, yes, maybe they're coming to help us. Kind of like, I shouldn't say maybe they're coming to help us. God, that sounds weird. Like they're going to invade. And it's not like that, you guys. That's not how I mean that. That is not how I mean that. Okay. It's like they have stuff that can help us in our bodies medically, physically, health wise, right? And it kind of feels like medics coming in, like, during a war, like that, because we are at a war with ourselves and our culture and our at least in the United States, we're totally at war with ourselves, inside of ourselves, like our self-love, our self-worth. We've been at war with our worth and our value forever, and then you're seeing it playing out externally with different people and groups and all that, you're seeing that. Um, so it kinda makes sense that almost like it's like to me, the vibe is like a medic, like they're coming to try to help or showing up so that people who are accessing different levels of consciousness, but are also humans, okay? Because you still have to be practical application of spiritual concepts is a must, or what's the point? Okay, otherwise this is just entertainment, okay? This isn't real practical advice for life then. And that's what we do here on Above Life channel. It has to be applicable for you. It has to be you have to be able to utilize this info in your day-to-day life. Same with this new information, right? So the higher doesn't mean better. It just means vibrational frequency. And so if you find that you've been losing track of time, you're a little indecisive, you walk from one room to the other and you're all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? And it's not just memory. It's not just, oh, I forgot what I came in here for. It's like, where was I just at? And it's literally like my friend was talking about this yesterday, like you're walking through different dimensions of time. And if you're very psychic and in tune, you're aware of that. So one of the things you need to be doing right now is amping up your grounding, your connection to nature, trees, freaking hug them. I'm telling you right now. Breathe with intention, the fresh air. Listen to go listen to the ocean. Go connect with the birds. Go like really just be in nature on Earth and be connected to the Earth, because that will help you make sure that you're maintaining a level of connection to your human body while you're also accessing advanced information if you choose to do that. And you can do that through meditation. Um, there's lots of, and I keep seeing Mount Shasta. So there's lots of energy that's coming in and through. And so some of you who are connected to grid systems or earth grid systems in particular, you're feeling that. That's part of what's happening. But there's no need to be, you don't have to freak out. There's nothing that, don't redirect everything about your life now is all going to be focused on this. No, don't do that. It's not, this is just information. This is information for you. And you get to use it how you want to use it for your life. That's all it is. It's not like, oh my gosh. It's not, that's not, please, it's not, no, no. Mm. Be authentic with yourself and stop lying to yourself. Don't be focused on who's lying to you or who's keeping information from you. Maybe you should ask yourself, what are you holding back from yourself? What resistance in your own heart is keeping you from feeling comfortable, connected, grounded, centered, and empowered in your own life? Right? Take a look at that when people are going off about stuff online. What is their life like? What are they doing inside themselves to focus on being their authentic self, their truthful self? Because chances are they're redirecting and projecting outward because they don't feel like they are inside. That's just facts. I do it too, you guys. I do it too. I do that. I redirect to stuff outside of me. I do that. Of course I do that. I'm human. So are you. But through awareness, then we can access additional levels of energy that can continue to inspire us, can make us healthier, can give us a broader perspective, body, mind, heart, and soul. That's kind of the point of having this conversation with Stephen today. Mhm. So yeah, so there are those UFO things, and they've always been there, so it's not a big deal. So don't even freak out about it. It's whatever. Okay? If they show up, hey, whatever. Invite them for dinner if they seem nice. I don't know. It's just like new neighbors. It's like the same kind of thing. It's not that complicated. Says the person who I do have a star guide energy that is one of my spirit guides too. So I have talked to I have, as part of a starseed energy that I have as part of my lineage, I have a spirit guide that is from star energies. And so they're very androgynous, but more feminine, a little more feminine feeling to me. She's been great, but I haven't talked to her at all actually recently. Maybe I should do a channeling with her just to see kind of what's up. But I'm not concerned. I'm not super concerned about it. I'm like, this is just normal, you know? Of course, I talk to dead people too, so my version of normal and your version of normal might not be the same thing. So anyway. All right. Hey, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it, Stephen. Very much. Yeah. Thank you for watching here on Above Life channel on YouTube. I hope that we've inspired your spirit, filled you with some hope, and encouraged you to live your life. This is your life after all. And you get to live it. Just live it. Remember, in the comments, people are going to go off. Let them. Just let them. It's okay. You guys, it's okay. You don't have to take a stand. You don't have to protect me. You don't have to just let them. It's okay. They're just venting. Let them get it out. It's okay. All right. Thanks for watching.